Welcome to session number 50 of Tears of the Kingdom. We're still in Adepts, as we have been for at least the past 2 sessions, so Rocks, shrines, etc. remain unchanged. I think it's 104 shrines and 318 Koroks or such that we're on now. And this session will hopefully go a lot more productively than the previous one, where I think I sort of wandered around in circles in this location for about an hour, trying to figure out how to get to this presumptive tower location, and we just couldn't find a way there, probably because of the water barrier, or rather the cliff barrier that would be equivalent to the water barrier. And actually, if I had been paying attention at a time, I should have realized that it was probably not approachable from this side. But that's what happens when you play while you're a bit exhausted, and we'll just keep that in mind and approach this from another angle when we can. It looks like if you follow the water features that are represented as infinite cliff sides in depth, we'll eventually be going around here. And that would be the passageway over to the southeastern quadrant. For the time being, then, yeah, we should have just taken a hint after, crashing against cliffs for about an hour that was really not going to go anywhere. It does mean that, oddly enough, this is one of the locations where your terrain on one side of the boundary is mapped out by the other side of the boundary, which is why we sort of ambled blindly into a Yiga base or something. Anyway, in the meantime, we have, I think, another rematch fight coming. And we're going to do something about that. Do I still have my vehicle here? I don't even remember. We should. It's right here. And if I'm not mistaken, this is actually going to be another Muktarok arena. We fought Muktarok many times at this stage. I think this might be our 3rd rematch with him. And the interests of, in the interests of making things a little more interesting, I think we're going to do this fight a bit differently this time. And since I'm sitting on over 1,000 Zonite or so, we're going to park this vehicle close to the treasure chest because we know that should remain relatively within range. But what I want to do, before I get into the arena there, is set up some kind of defense system, perhaps. And anyway, we had the Sora Spear here that's going to get wet, and that's probably going to be quite good in its own right. A lot of heavy weapons in general. The Zonite Club, that's not useful. That was just an enemy attaching the Zonite to it. We should probably turn it into something decent. Possibly a mining weapon. This is going to be fairly fragile, and the Zora Spear, we should actually pop something interesting on that. I feel like what we want to do, even though it's not a Zonite mounted weapon, is put a hydrant on some of these, because we want to spray things down with water as much as we can. We previously found, in fact, that the hydrant shield was extremely useful, although it breaks fairly quickly. So we'll do that to begin with, and maybe put... Yeah, actually, a hydrant would work pretty well with Zora Spear, because maybe you would just be able to get itself wet. And so if I have to work with, we have 12 of these. Maybe that's an interesting idea. And the other thing I want to do is, since we picked up some auto-build pieces like this one, Rainmaker basically creates a hover platform that turns into a rotating sprinkler system with a battery on top. How much does this cost? It must be costly. It's 24. But more importantly, it's fun. And perhaps we can replace the wheels, since we have such an excess of wheels, to lower the cost slightly by, about 3 or so. Maybe even replace the wheel in hoverstone or something, but just build it straight because, it's the depths and zonite is easy to come by. Yeah, because basically if you place this and then you launch it, then you have a sprinkler system up until the point that it runs out of charge, in which case it will then fall down. So I don't know quite how long that's going to last, especially with the rocket giving it a bit of an initial burn. But if it falls down, then you just recharge it and lift it back up, perhaps. But anyway, let's get one hydrant on the Zora Spear. And indeed, Zora Spear plus Hydrant will have the attack bonus, just right out of the box, which I find interesting. And the next thing we'll do is we'll spend some zonite to build the Rainmaker. Oh, there's a sprinkler system that you can just wedge anywhere you like as well. That would be a lot cheaper. No, only 15. Okay, it's not much cheaper, but it might be more power efficient. But then it would basically, create a safe zone. 2 sprinklers on that, though. Why not both? If we need to build something, why not both? Let's build it. It'll be fun. This is one of the most expensive zonite contraptions that we've constructed so far, but let's make sure we get suited up as well. Why were we even wearing this? Probably... Yeah, I feel like there's no way I actually wanted my mystic robe because we don't like losing rupees. I think I was just changing out gear pieces while exhausted or something. We'll go Froggy. Why not? Yeah, I just need to make sure we're not in the muck. And then, what do I have for bow? Whistle bow, that's fine. We'll almost certainly want to activate this with a bow shot, so... Wait for it. Okay, watch this. There we go. Get over here, I dare you. It's not far over enough. Okay. Oh, nope, we should have taken a water shot there. Alright. So we still need to actually fight this. And if he's not into water form currently, let's go with Alpha's arm stick first. Then slap him down a little bit. Well, we use as a bit of a slapper weapon. Got so many decent things here. Yeah, let's just go small for the time being. So yeah, that water platform went a lot higher than expected, but of course it ran out of charge, and now it's going to be grounded. But it's probably still possible to elevate it slightly and reactivate. Yeah, that's the issue. However... Okay, what we can do... Yeah, unfortunately, he was just completely out of range of this device for a while, and... create a bit of a splash zone here, you see? And then it actually does get a hit. And we can activate, deactivate. Oops, except we don't want to get too close here. Anyway, let's... Nope. Shoot him down. Okay, maybe not as effective as I had hoped, but... The idea, though, is that you can always get around this platform, and it would stay clear at all times. So yeah, that basically just solved itself. And then we'll maybe lock him down with a... I want to save the hydrant sledge until we need it for a later phase, I think, but we've got so many decent weapons at this point that we're spoiled for choice when it comes to damage. Might as well go with maybe the 44, yeah. Just gonna conserve power from time to time. Then if he comes in, I can certainly try. Yeah, we should have built the sprinkler system, but... Whoop. Shoot him in the back, like an honorable person. And of course, we're going to get a lot of damage out of this weapon, which... solve itself. We just... Yeah. Look at that. Just gets him immediately. It's very effective, in fact. Anyway, we're going to get into phase 2 in just a moment here. So we should power this up again, just to save a little bit of energy. Okay, so where's my device? Yeah, we'll go over here and we'll just fight in the middle as much as possible, and actually my battery recharged with the phase transition, which is nice. Didn't expect that. I dare you to come here. So yeah, we didn't get to use it as a sprinkler system very much, but... Okay, he's gonna splash around. Yeah, he's gonna just get around the muck over there. I guess he stays in the muck. Maybe that's the way the damage is prioritized, so... Try to get him in a bit closer. And yeah, we want to clear this area first, and then we can power it down. Temporarily. Until we need it again. Oops. Okay, get with him. Okay, so the jumping phase is a bit of an issue. Because we need to get him a lot closer. Okay. Get him much closer. The problem is that he's trying to jump around a muck. And if we're clearing all this space, then he's not going to jump over here, so... Anyway, we'll just make sure we have a bit of zone clearance. Deactivate for a moment. We've got lots of bows to work with, so no worries about that. Unfortunately, he's nowhere close. Should have put another sprinkler system over there, but I don't know if I want to spend this zone at this point. What we can do, let's just move this. Oops. Spray him down this way. And just spray him down. Look at that, just lift it over him. Actually lift it nice and high. And basically give him a shower. Look at that. I mean, it is a hover platform, you can just lift it. Oh, we're down to 2 arrows. That's concerning. Given that we kind of need to swap on something here. We could do some kind of water wand or... Yeah, I didn't realize that it was just out of arrows. That's not good. We shouldn't have used arrows to tap this every time, I suppose, but... Also didn't want to use anything too... Yeah, you can always just lift it up, even if it is not a rocket height. Then... spray him down like that. Whoops. Okay. Running out of arrows is really... not very ideal play here. I don't know if you can just spray him. Just try to run him out of space or something. I mean, what do we do if we just run out of ammunition on him? Yeah, just try to approach him nice and close, I suppose. Or get in there with the spear or the hybrid shield and just try to cut right through. Yeah, because you take out the pools and he tries to get into the walking phase. And the problem is that I just don't have a way to hit him. Except perhaps with Sidon, which we should have considered in the first place. Using my second last arrow there. Okay. Okay, we really do need him to spray down. Where is he? Okay. Yeah, we might have been a lot more frugal about ammunition if we realized that was the case, but that's okay. We just spray him down and just get in position immediately. Or maybe that's doable. Have to poke away at it a bit. Yeah, just put it directly on top of him. When it's time for him to come back up. We're also down to 1 arrow at this point. So unfortunately, with no arrows, we can't really do the jump bow shot and take him out properly. Okay, just walk over to him calmly. Just get in slapping position. That's the way to do it. Then, let's go. Where is he? Okay. Get on top of him for the next spawn here. Just make sure we're close. Anyway, let's do this. Probably need an actual weapon to finish that off. Yeah, I guess the hydrant wasn't a bad idea, but we don't have it, so I might go Igniotalis against this. Or, yeah, we might as well finish it off properly. Totally overkill. Anyway, same idea as before. We just try to get in close and spray him down. Next available point. Except this is going to run out of power. That's okay. We can just do a bow shot for the rest. I know we can't because we have no ammunition. It's okay. We'll just spray this in a moment. Well, this was slow, and it's obviously a lot better if you have arrows to work with, but it does work. It's the important thing. And of course we had the slow two-hander here. Missing every shot. The idea here is to try to run him out of valid locations, but put this on top. There we go. That took too long. James, see, I'm a lot more awake today. Yesterday I probably should have heeded your suggestion to get some sleep because we had a bit of a fiasco where I was trying to Well, first of all, let me show you. So, we had a bit of a fiasco where I was trying to get to this tower, and if I had been more attentive, I would have realized that it was on the other side of what is a river in a surface world, and so the reason that I ran around in circles for about an hour trying to get here without being able to do so was because we were actually hitting a continuous cliffside, and I wasn't paying enough attention to really realize that quickly the way I usually would. Anyway, this was our third rematch with Mukbarok, and we decided to do it the fun way. The fun way was a lot of fun, but we also ran ourselves completely out of arrows. So I probably should have gone with the cheaper sprinkler system. But this was still good because, you know, the rocket initially launches the platform. And then once the rockets expire, once the hover platform falls down, you can still lift it up and move it, right? And so we basically had a way to stun lock Mukbarok the whole time. And yeah, maybe not the most cost-efficient way to do it, but definitely a bit of variety that I think the fight sorely needed. So more crystallized charges we'll need to cash in. Obviously, it'll be a lot easier to make plays like that too when we have a lot more battery life. And then I can start fighting bosses with turrets on a more regular basis. You simply walked about with a hydrant in your hands. Yeah, previously I did it with a shield hydrant as well. But I found that the shield hydrant broke very quickly. So this time around we didn't really do that so much. What was I even using with my shield before? The Hudson or something else? Dragon Bone. Yeah, I know. We have so many shields here that we haven't really been using. Broke a couple of weapons on that. Also notice, I found it interesting that Zora's Spear, when you put it with a hydrant, the Zora Spear gets its attack power buff from being wet immediately. Which makes a lot of sense because it's attached to a hydrant, so we didn't end up using that on the fight, but I kind of had that on reserve just in case. Anyway. Holding it doesn't break anything. I love how you typoed that as hot dog. It doesn't break anything. It's much funnier that way. Let's try to get in here. This looks like it's the equivalent of Zora's Domain, and it looks accessible in this location. So there was a Yiga base that was around here too, and we got a schematic, but I think I actually didn't take the time to look at the notebook. So we could also look at that again, if we feel like going back just to see a notebook. But I think I want to see what is going on with Zora's Domain. Because as with all these cities and towns, it looks like it is going to be another abandoned mine, and it might even be the one where we fight the Yiga clan, unless... or fight Master Koga, unless Master Koga is closer to the mountain, which I thought he was supposed to be. So no, I don't think this will be Koga necessarily, but we'll move towards it anyway and find out. Yeah, to this day, I'm not happy with typing interfaces on mobile. I try to do it with autocorrect off because I can't stand autocorrect, and it causes more problems. But I've never been happy with any kind of text input that I've seen so far. Particularly, you know, text selection is always such a mess. And I feel like it's still a major unsolved interface problem that you can only get around for so long with autocorrect and voice command and all those other alternate solutions. This looks like it may potentially be the way into Zora's Domain. There is going to be some kind of tunnel that's at a different elevation. And so we do need to look for that. Might be through here, might be on top. Let's... right on top first. And yeah, we've got so many crystallized charges at this point that once I'm back in the main world, we'll almost certainly make some kind of effort to get back to the Sky Island and just build up more battery again. This little short-range hopper vehicle, though, really is the MVP. For a couple sessions now, we've stuck with this vehicle design long enough that the fans actually expire after about 2 or 3 hours of use. Because we've managed to just preserve a vehicle continuously. Without problems. Write it down. Looks like this is the entry into the source domain mine. We'll take a look at that. There's a Grand Po. It's already within view. And look at that, there's this Protozoa statue that is here, overlooking the mine. This is too small a gap. Let's either fly around or just take this around. It does look like there is a clan presence here. Which means, first of all, we'll switch to Yiga suit. Maybe this is the Master Koga location. Let me just check it. And we'll of course take the vehicle down. We'll do the light route first. And we'll come back. And it's Sora's domains, of course there's lots of water here. Yeah, statues point the way to mines. We did notice that. There was something in the game that explicitly tells you this too. Turnip, welcome. But moreover, that the designs of the statues match the various civilizations. And in the Thifla ruins, we kind of saw all the statues in one place. No, I have not done the camera request, but I did learn about the statues some other way. There was something else in the game that kind of drew attention to that, even though we noticed that ourselves. I think it was one of the Yiga notebooks, probably. Anyway, interestingly enough, this does have a land of passage. So yeah, okay, this will potentially get you over to the southeast of the map. But first, of course, we're going to deal with the Yiga clan. Bit of a motorboat paradise over here. A lot of boats, actually. I wonder if this will be some kind of big boat fight. It is a Yiga location. Crystallized charges and other things available from the forge over here, so we'll head over to the forge first. This guy's probably terrified. This does not bode well. Yeah, that's because there are Yiga up and running. And look at that. Trying to crack open a device, as usual. We'll move this in a bit closer. Maybe this is going to be a water fight where we actually do need to take that somewhere. Only known way to enter the depths is through chasms. By leaving and returning through a different chasm. It is rumored, for instance, that a chasm has somehow opened inside a cave. Glory to Master Koga, yeah. Anyway, just to stay within vehicle range, let's get over here. And we'll see what happens when I just try to talk to him initially without changing out of the suit. I'm sure Master Koga himself is not fooled, but you never know, because sometimes the enemy behavior actually does change a bit when you are in costumes that make you recognizable as an ally. Also, we have no arrows. This is a serious limitation for any kind of long-range fighting, so... We have arrows in a single digits right now, and I tend to be heavily dependent on them. That's okay. It just means that we'll need to find some kind of alternate solution if we do get into a big fight here. Okay, we have a few more arrows now. We need to crack open every single one we can get. "14 arrows, okay. Just like playing in one of those gearless challenge rooms all over again. Anyway. Master Koga. There's the guy. I guess he doesn't respond to the suit, but we'll see. Well, let's see if there's any kind of special dialogue here. Okay, so he actually does recognize me. I'm sure not everybody gets this line, but... Your plan has changed. Well, that's the only thing he's going to be killing today. Yeah, now there's going to be a big group fight. So we'll see if any of the AI gets tricked out. Oh, we probably need to hit multiple points and chase them on boats, yeah. We have some arrows. Okay, let's actually put on some gear, because they are going to shoot me. Actually, I probably do want swim speed on this, but let's put on armor, just to be perfectly safe. What I'm going to do, though, is if I can grab my vehicle, I'm going to fight him from the air. Oh, whoops, out of range. No, we can get back in. I hope. Hang on. Yeah, we can fight him on boats, but the thing is, it'll be more fun to jump around and attempt him this way. Whoops, we got out of range. How do we reactivate the fight? There we go. Let's go electric. And I've got so few arrows I should maybe use a good bow, but... Nah, we'll just stay on these ones. Okay. And then I guess just get in here and slap him with something good. Let me see what we want to use here. We'll go with this massive talus hammer. Okay. And just try your boat. Then let's throw this again. Oh. Gotta knock him down. Yeah, the arrow depletion is going to be a problem, so we need to be extra careful with that. Also, oh, we have our Goron friend as my turret. We can do that. Much easier to aim him. Whoops, maybe not. This would be a real Wind Waker moment here with our cannon on the boat. That would take 10 arrows, let's not do it that way. Oop. Oh, guess not. You fought this whole battle out of the water with using just arrows? Yeah, that's the problem, is that normally I would, but I've got 10 arrows, so that's not happening. So we'll fight using our Goron instead, until our boat gets stuck. We can just turn the boat, whatever. Hang on. Something very James Bond about this particular fight. Yeah, look at that. Yunobo just cuts right through. Look at that. Alright, let's switch to something else. Yeah, we can beat him up with something. You know, we've got so many good weapons at this stage. Doesn't really matter. We got a 41. We got a 49. We're all high durability and everything too, so it'll last a while. It's nice to actually have some good weapons. Okay. There we go. I gotta say, like, Yunobo just totally changed his character in this fight. Okay, he's gonna put up his screen. It's fine. Okay. Oh. Wanted to bow, actually. And arrows. We should maybe get out of here. That's okay. Wanted to pick up that bow before launching everything off to the side. And now, JC, you were saying earlier that you thought Lightning Temple was meant to be the last one in order. Yeah, that's the first one I did, so I don't have a good sense of that. But oh, okay, we need to stop pre-activating the boats. Let's try something else. Yeah, because any of these will still allow me to use Yunobo as my front cannon. Except she's got the box around him, that's fine. Hello. Alright. Loaded a boat on a boat. Yeah, because I could kind of tell in Breath of the Wild that fire and lightning were noticeably more complex. See, the fire temple in this game I pretty much skipped completely. You know, in terms of all of the designed obstacles, I skipped every single one of them with a vehicle, and so I don't have a good sense of intended difficulty or anything like that. because we just bypassed every single puzzle. Okay, so he's down. The steering sticks got wet, so your hand slipped. Yeah, should have used a Zora steering stick. And yeah, Turnip, I'm still missing water. We did lightning... no, we're still missing wind, rather. I did lightning, water, fire in that order. Yeah. Wind, I was most of the way to getting it open, but the thing is, I was completely broken Zonite at the time, and I wanted to mine some Zonite again to have the ability to build vehicles, because without the glider, I would need it. And yeah, the tutorial path seems to heavily lean towards pointing you to wind, the same way that tutorial path heavily lean towards pushing you to doing the elephant first in the first game, in Zora's Domain. I already dug up all the crystallized charges this place had to offer. I mean, I've got plenty. They've located a man himself. Oh, look at that. We actually got a lead as to the dwarf here. So I guess they want crystallized charges to have enough battery power to infuse life into the Demon King or something like that. So. One more abandoned mine? Yeah. I wonder if they're going to go to the Tarrytown mine, actually, because I've been there already. Oh, Northwestern. Okay, no, we've been there. We actually have been there, so. Your ultimate weapon. Oh yeah, this guy's a lot of fun. That's a nice thing about having this game bring over so much of the cast from Breath of the Wild, is that we got to see Master Koga again. But abandoned Hebrew mine. Path stretching from Hyrule Ridge that was previously used is no longer a viable route. Why is it no longer a viable route? I thought we had been there. The path stretching from Hyrule Ridge that was previously used. I'll check that. Because we have been there. Hang on, just a moment here. Because it's not that. We found it somewhere here. It's not Heber Canyon Mine. At least I don't think so. Oh, I know what it is. Yeah. It is the Rito location, which we knew about. Yeah, it is the Rito location for sure. And which we know we still have to map. Because there is a tower there that we have cracked open. Yeah, that's definitely it, because, again, the mine smashed the towns. Yeah, see you around, Turnip. Thanks for coming by. Let's grab a schema stone. Do I still have my vehicle? Speaking of which, I do. How many arrows have we got left? 11. Yeah, we'll have to be relatively cautious about those. And then... yeah, here's a forge construct. Oh yeah, this fellow. We'll talk to you. See what kind of pre-build we get this time. Bolt boat. In case we want to try it out. Oh, I see, with a shock stick in front. Well, let's activate this guy too. Buy some charges, probably. I've actually stopped buying crystals because we've got so many at this point that I don't even know if the battery caps out or whether it will cap out before we get a chance to spend them all. As for these, though, I think we always want more charges. And the large charges are starting to run a little low, so if we get all 5... And then, yeah, it's just one zonite each. Okay, no, that's cheap. We should have been buying these up anyway. But we're going to hold off on buying charges. I mean, even though this is sort of an entire battery's worth, I can obviously afford it. I don't know yet what the next battery upgrade will look like, so we'll have plenty of opportunity to come back and cache more zonite at a later point. Okay, so we know that this is going to be the next valid location. We know that this one is inaccessible. I think at this point we continue. I'm going to try to bolt boat a little bit just to give it a bit of a run while the materials are free. I guess, yeah, it would, you know, knock out any fish along the way. Or octoroks for that matter. Oh, I see, and then it gets you the treasure chest. That's what it is meant to do. Hang on. Fine, you know what, we'll just slap him. All the schema stones direct you to a chest. I think I might not have realized that about the earlier ones, but it also took me a long time to realize that every named location in the depths has a chest. And so now every time we come upon a named location, we take the time to check. But I wouldn't have known to check that when I was doing the early part of the map and uncovering the southwest quadrant. So at some point we'll probably want to return to the southwest and explore a bit more just to properly look at that. Because I'm sure there's a lot that I missed here. Since, you know, back then we were just new to the depths and didn't quite know what we were doing. Yep. More bananas because it's a Yuga base, so of course there would be. Yeah, everything's built pretty heavy on this vehicle. Let's check the chests, actually. We need more arrows, so makes sense to break all of this stuff. So yeah, I did eventually want to check the Rito mine anyway, so Now we just have an additional reason to do it. Wait, I wonder if it would make sense for the battery capacity to be totally uncapped. Because it seems like you could just play this game and get an infinite number given sufficient time. That, like, I don't know when you'd hit the limit or what the excess charges would do afterwards, but we'll find out. Yeah, so this was just referring to Rito Mine, I'm sure. We'll get that other Grand Po that is at the back there, and then we'll proceed towards the south. We need to start fighting some camps again so I can pick up some more arrows. Because right now that's the biggest limiting factor. And I knew that, you know, when we entered the depths for this session a few days ago. Because I didn't expect to spend this much time down here. I came down by way of Akala House of Bones, and I didn't realize that it would just connect to the rest of the depths. And so we came down here with about 100 arrows, and I've been playing here ever since. And yeah, I just didn't expect to run out so soon. But normally I would stock up tons of arrows before coming down in the first place, but this time we didn't. And anyway, we'll just make it across. Yeah, the next battery capacity upgrade, I'm sure, is going to feel absolutely huge. So it'll be up there, in that location. We'll do that. After we've had a chance to recharge. And if we have significantly greater battery life, then I can get back to weighing down these platforms with a balloon or something, and, you know, add an additional fan for propulsion, but then add a balloon for weight, the way we had with the previous design. Because then that would make falling easier. Once I'm on a fuller battery bank, I can't take falls quite as easily just from letting the battery expire the way that we've been doing. And so we'll probably need to adjust around that somehow. But we could also, you know, start doing more with vehicles and turrets and everything generally. Once battery life is much less of an issue. We mapped all this out. This will be natural point, and then there's a lot that we don't know about this region yet since I didn't really explore it in the overworld, so we'll try it out. See what the light routes are. Light routes. Where are they? Well, let's go further and go left. Yes, so it'll be a narrow passage, presumably. And we'll take it. Also, this area here might potentially lead you to an access point, but I don't know that yet, so we need to follow it that way, and it's possible that... I mean, I haven't really explored this area. There's probably at least one shrine here that I didn't know about. So, either direction will be fine. In fact, it might make more sense because of the way this is connected to do the left side first, or rather the western side first. Oh, didn't quite hit. I do see a light route. Maybe it's a light route. Can't quite see. We'll aim towards that. There's clearly something. Yeah, it might just be a base. It is just a base. That's fine. Ruto Canyon Mine. Let's stop and take a look. Tent down here. That's clearly a Yiga clan. Let's just hover down there, perhaps, and have a bit of dialogue. So Yiga plans, the Yiga clans wrote a whole plan in this game is to, the Yiga clan's plan. The Yiga clan plan in this game is to design some kind of really sweet hot rod for Ganondorf. They're gonna make a total mess of it, but, you know. They did send me to. And yeah, of course, everything in this game is sort of designed in case you encounter it early, which is why we still get tutorial messages or guidance messages. We know what to do. Anyway, there will be a treasure chest around here. It's going to be right up here, in fact, so let's just grab it. Right here in the open and untouched. Going to get me up to 1600. Be minutes, welcome. And we'll grab some of this. Also, I guess we should change out some of this stuff. This one, and yeah, maybe the gnarled stick, I should put something else on it, but this one I'll definitely put a rock on it. And we have room for a few more of these too, that we can expend quickly if necessary. Including this guy. Yeah, we'll leave it up here and it shouldn't despawn on me. Not that we need to zonite at this point, but you never know, because the more battery life I have and the more zonite I have, the likelier I am to spend it like crazy on experimental devices, so we should have some just in case. Alright, where's Yunobo? Get over here. Get over here. Where is he? I need to get those guys to warp over. Okay, come on, warp over. Get on a cliffside, there we go. That's how you do it. You make them disappear on a cliff, and then... There we go. Anyway. Not much else to look at here since we have the treasure chest, so let's just get out. Ninja our way over. And yeah, we can continue from here. Probably change my costume as well. Once we get out. Whoops. Camera's throwing me off a bit here. There's a light route right there. Well, that's the one that we said we'd do second. But it's there. For the taking, we might as well just get it anyway. And although this side is much more of an unknown. Let's just hit it. We can see it. We can do it. Then just drop it a little at a time. Then just stumble around in the dark some more. Yeah, it's kind of at a high elevation here, so I'm glad we're flying over. Hopefully we'll make it on this battery, although I think it's going to be close. Might want to spend a charge or two on this one to at least get me over to that mushroom. It doesn't matter too much. We usually will fly pretty accurately. Well, that was close. Then we'll... Yeah, that was nearly a rather bad landing. We could have just landed at 2, but I didn't quite know how far down this would go, so I think this is working over the best. And we should easily be able to make it to the light route on this charge. Looks like there's another mining location nearby, so we'll take a look. I kind of think at this point that if I can, I'm going to map out the entirety of the depths before I even start to reveal the map in the surface world. It would be fun to do it that way. So I'm guessing that Eventide Island is probably isolated, because it's an island. It's all the way down here anyway, so it's not a concern yet. Oops. Oh, this is a tower, it's not a shrine, so... I do know there was something pointing me to a shrine in this area, though, so we'll check it. Definitely we'll be looking for some of these locations. Took me a long time to realize that this was a correlation, in fact. And yeah, by the time you get to the villages, we'll do it one layer at a time. But we should go down this way first, because there should be something. And indeed there is. No, that's where I've been already. That's why it's lit up. I'm gonna go straight that way. Give ourselves a bit of initial distance first. Also, it's telling me there's a mining location this way, right? We'll see how close that is. Am I getting a glider for the overworld map? Why would I need... Well, don't tell me, actually. Don't tell me. I don't know why you're saying that I need that. So, don't let me know. Because the reason I don't have the overworld map right now is that I never unlocked the mapping tool on the Bura pad. But I know how to get to the towers, so yeah. What goes up must come down. Oh, we got plenty of ways to come down all the time. I think we probably can do it without, but we'll see. We'll see. Don't tell me anything more about that, because I hadn't even considered that that would be a problem, because we just go to those towers all the time, right? It's just that we haven't used them. And they don't really go that high, as far as I know. Unless they all, you know, launch up into the sky like a rocket or something. But anyway, I just say that because there have been a lot of things in this game where people ask me, oh, how are you doing this with a glider? And it's usually no problem. Whoop. Oh. Wrong button. Oh. There we go. I accidentally pressed a stick when I was trying to just get off this place. Let me just recover this first. Just got a bit caught on that ledge. Luckily, we're pretty familiar with getting out of these situations. This looks like an ascension tower. Oh, fine. We'll fight you guys. We'll even fight you with a weapon for once. Which I don't usually do. Where's the remaining head? I don't even see it. It's gone. Anyway. I should make a video of how I solved all the problems with a glider. Yeah, maybe so. I did clip a lot of things like alternate solutions to shrines. But I'd have to go through it more exhaustively. It would be a lot of video editing, to be honest, because I've been playing this game for... what? I mean, by the end of this week, we'll be at 300 hours, I think. So, it'll be a lot to look at. Oh, let's remove this. This is an ascension point. And moreover, this ascension point will get me to the overlook above the peninsula, which might be useful. Yeah, but be honest, you've been playing once a week, right? So I've heard a lot from people who kind of got 100% at around like maybe 150 to 200 hours or something. Obviously, I'm playing it much slower with no fast travel and no glider. But thing is, as with Breath of the Wild, I don't feel even remotely burnt out on this game because there have been interesting problems and interesting new things to try every time I sit down with it. And so, I find it very unique in some ways that we'll probably have to go up here because it matches a slope that goes down. Oh, whoops, electric keys eyeball. Let's grab this first of all. Oh, look at this. These keys parts actually just fell directly into my vehicle. I didn't realize that when we killed it earlier. And yeah, B-Minutes, I was on 6 to 8 hearts or so for the longest time. I took a long time to get any heart upgrades. When they start coming in, they start coming in quickly and all at once. I mean, I was also kind of prioritizing stamina as well, but I find that things come together pretty quickly in this game when you actually start working on them. Okay, there will be a light route somewhere here, so we'll see. I might want to take the camp so I can start stocking up arrows if I do a big fight here without using a bow. But with electric chews there, I probably will wind up using a bow anyway. So, I say we just go for the light route first, just to uncork the map a little bit. And we'll see. Yeah, there's a particular curve, I think, to how people are likely to acquire hearts, etc. Where it'll just come in bursts. I remember the same experience in Breath of the Wild 2, in fact, when I first played it, that I was extremely fragile for a big chunk of the early game, and then suddenly I wasn't. And mind you, because I've been playing with no fast travel, usually what would happen is that we wouldn't reach one of the upgrade statues until I had several upgrades worth to cash in. You know, I'd be sitting on maybe 12 of the light orbs or something, and would just put them in all at once. Let's switch some things around here. Just, I think it's pretty much always worthwhile to put boulders on instead of rocks, so. Oh, I should have used it with this one. That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, and I know there's a shrine here because there was a quest pointing me to it that we just never followed up on in the overworld. And yeah, the temples are quick too, if you really kind of get on track to doing them. Main reason I don't have the fourth one yet, as I was saying, is because I wanted more Zonite first, so we could confidently do it with vehicles. It's kind of funny because I feel like I've seen much less main content than most players, but I've probably seen much more side content. Simply because I've been playing this for so long. Anyway, we'll see how things are connected. It is just a peninsula, as expected, so... And again, my roadblock here is arrows, so maybe we should fight the camp. Yeah, this path will obviously continue, but then our next destination should be this way. So we can see that part. And I'll also eventually have to remember to do this part. In fact... I mean, I'll remember it, but maybe I should mark it with a star anyway. Although I have too many things on the map at this point, and after a certain point, if you have too many markers, it just all looks like a mess. It's like turning this into a Ubisoft map. Markers everywhere. Okay, let's see. I also have to look for these faint circles every now and then because sometimes there are boss fights that are not clear. Oh, that reminds me. Yeah, I totally missed the construct fight here. I gotta mark it. I saw it last game and we just didn't go down there afterwards, and so... and it was right by where the Zora area was, so... I don't know if I'll catch it on this pass, but we should consider going back there. Actually, we're going to be flying back there anyway. Maybe I should do it, just to check it off the list. Ascension point over here. I don't know if there's anything else to look at. Ego bases or anything. Nothing sticks out as obvious. There is this location. How come... I was sure I'd been there. Maybe I haven't. I was sure I did this one already. Yeah, no, this is the Yiga base that I did when I started yesterday's session coming out of this tower. So we did that for sure. Anyway, let's go have a ride. I have so much Zonite now that I should actually experiment a bit more with. Using it just for run-of-the-mill weaponry, but... we'll see about that. Yeah, maybe we can do an aerial assault in that camp. So I find that the Goron cannon is pretty easy to control when you're on a surface vehicle, like a car or a boat. But it's just about impossible to aim manually. I think it's kind of camera dependent or something. Like if I wanted to make a strafing run or something, it's actually difficult to have it be level. Because yeah, I'd want to lower the vehicle quite a bit and then do a bit of a run. Can't quite aim it actually, then we have to drop it and try it again. Or just get in there and fight. I might just get in there and fight. So anyway, the point is to get arrows. But we need to spend some arrows to take out some of this stuff, so... like take out the initial sentries and so on, because the blue ones can all be one shot. And the other ones will do something else with them. Okay, maybe two shot. Okay, we should stop using arrows at this point. Except for this electric attack. Okay, no more arrows. Let's now fight another way. Muddlebud. This bud's for you. Then Sophos arm. And maybe the other Lizophos arm. Whoops. Okay, never mind. I'll just claim this rock hammer. Okay, that's done. And yeah, we'll just loot things while we See, the thing is, when you only have the captain of a particular camp scale up to silver, you just drop a muddle butt on them and they take out the rest of the camp by themselves, pretty much. Oh, it's a boomerang. No wonder it came back. Okay. That's right, just like the word in the first game. Those alphas' arms are boomerangs. I just don't usually think of them that way because they're so fragile. Oops. Anyway, let's switch to something else. Yeah, we started using this. We can do that. It's a two-hander, we'll just lock him down. Kind of morbid for this guy to be using a moblin arm or something. Okay. There we go. I've got so many of these fragile little mining weapons that we'll just take them all as we go. Might even just break the boxes open this way for once. We'll make sure we check the locations here as well, just how are we doing for arrows now? 22, so we went up slightly. Did spend a few too many at the beginning of the fight, so. The zonite, of course, is a bonus. And yeah, let's just continue. I should maybe try to get back to the construct fight, but it is a long ways off. Also, I never saw what this was. This looks like it's another... Oh no, that's where we fought Mukta earlier today. We did that already, yeah. Okay, yeah, we've seen the canyon. Let's just go back this way. Or to the left. Oops. XCOM 2 is on a PlayStation Plus subscription that you have now. Does it include the War of the Chosen expansion, or is it just base XCOM 2? I still have to catch up on War of the Chosen. I played a lot of base XCOM 2 when it came out, but... And naturally, it was very much my kind of thing, as you might expect of somebody who's also a Fire Emblem player. Yeah, no, I mean, the game is perfectly fine without it. But I understand that the War of the Chosen expansion is actually quite considerable when it comes to how it revamps the game. We just never got around to it. Not coincidentally, my playtime on a lot of games on PC kind of dropped off a cliff when the Nintendo Switch came out. I mean, I've always been a heavy Nintendo player, but the thing is, the Switch was kind of a much busier library than previous Nintendo consoles ever were, and that was a big adjustment. Yeah, we'll sweep this cliffside, I think, and continue this way. Just maintain elevation for now. You should just play Sparks of Hope, yeah. Rabbit Peach with her selfie camera. Yeah, I liked the first game well enough, but I never picked up the Donkey Kong expansion for Kingdom Battle. because of the pricing. Because rather foolishly, for a Ubisoft game, I actually did pick up Kingdom Battle at launch, and I liked it well enough. It was a bit too simplified for me in some ways, but then they did this thing where, you know, they put massive sales all the time on the complete edition, but not on the DLC if you try to get it separately, right? Because that's just how Ubisoft rolls. So there never came a point when it felt like I could just pick up the Donkey Kong expansion without feeling ripped off for having bought the game in the first place. And I know it's purely a psychological thing, but where you just kind of actively feel punished for buying at launch, which I understand actually severely hurt the sales of the second game. That when Sparks of Hope came out, I think the general sentiment was everybody knows you're going to discount this if you wait for complete edition, so let's just wait. Yeah, the Rabbids have been around since the Wii. It's kind of funny how the Rabbids sort of took over the Rayman brand for a few years. Because Rabbids were originally the Rayman party game spin-off, right? But then Rayman platforming kind of died out for much of a decade until Origins and Legends brought that back. I'm actually quite looking forward to the side-scrolling Prince of Persia revival for next year, actually, speaking of Ubisoft, because it is by the Rayman Legends developers, as I understand it. Insofar as that team has remained stable or not over 10 years since Legends came out. Anyway, Yiga base, let's do it. Let's put on our Yiga clothes. Dress our best for the occasion. And we'll do the bow shot thing, as usual. Yes, we can. We don't care about the guy on the plane. We just need this one on the train. That'll unlock the door. We've been increasingly efficient about these Yiga base raids. So, what kind of makeshift turret will you give me this time? Icebreaker. I should see how it looks. Let's not stand too close to any of my vehicles, obviously, but... What is the icebreaker? Oh, that's interesting. That you've got a homing cart, and a spike ball, and what looks like a flamethrower. So basically you would melt and smash the ice at the same time with a homing cart that pushes forward. It would probably be good against rock and ice, maybe. But it's kind of neat. Like I've been saying, I think of these Yiga recipes not necessarily as something to use, but as kind of like a Lego manual where there's like an ideas booklet that gives you different things you might want to try. Or like the Mario Maker ideas booklet that came with Mario Maker 1. I wish I had my copy, my hard copy sitting around. It's easily available on PDF, but my hard copy that came with Mario Maker 1, I actually don't know what happened to it. Kind of got lost in a move or something. Okay. We actually do need to raid all of these boxes just in case of arrows. Because we're so short on them at this point. And bananas are nice too, given how many 5 banana meals we were cooking with our ample supply. Oh, it's got another one of the twisty balloons back there too. Yeah, these are a lot of fun. Basically uses the wheel as a spinner to launch the balloon up high. You can make it dance. I kind of want to do that again, actually. We previously showed this off. But basically, you can do the balloon dance. You just put on something heavy. And then you tap it, and then watch what happens. If you haven't seen this already, this is fantastic. It's absolutely amazing. Although it's a little off-center. So, you can make a dance. I'm going to do a little twirl. And of course, you know, this guy's just kind of flying around and orbiting it. Because you can do that. I think maybe if you put it on a hoverstone or something, nah. Then maybe if you weigh it down just enough, it would retain a stable position in midair. Anyway, that was fun. I'm just going to fly this over to the notebook so we can check the notebook. Since we totally forgot. Last time we were at a Yiga base. So we missed a tip sheet somewhere in the world. It probably doesn't tell me anything I don't already know. And yeah, this is Luminous Stone, but Luminous Stone was all over the last game too, so I guess they didn't get out much. The one important clue that I actually did get from a Yiga notebook was that there are 6 Colosseums. So we know how many to look for. Because I think we found 4 so far. Anyway, let's get out. And we'll go up this way and to the left. Whoops. Here we go. Maybe land it first before we proceed. Just to avoid issues. Yeah, because you'd need to go down quite a ways. I think. And eventually, yeah, the mountain region here will map to a valley. So, let's go around. Probably change costumes once again. This is going to be a big drop incoming. But that's okay because we know we're over relatively friendly terrain, I guess. We'll just drop in. Yeah, because this would match the Rito path, I guess. It takes you up to Zora's domain in the first game. We actually haven't really been here in the overworld. Because it just flew over all that stuff when we went to Zora's domain very early in the game. So there's still quite a lot to explore. So the idea here is that if I completely map the depths, then that's going to pinpoint all of the surface shrines that I may be missing. And, you know, maybe a big time commitment now, but it's going to pay off later in terms of saving me a lot of hunting and pecking to find everything. We'd still have to be pretty thorough in the overworld if we want to find things like the Misco gear sets, but we have the cherry trees and other such conveniences to help with that. Yeah, everything there just points towards the mine, which we know about. We'll pass over the mine and continue that way. In here, done that. And we'll want to go that way towards the dark. Unless we want to do the construct first, I don't know if we do. We can always come back for it, it's not really urgent. We've skipped bosses before. It's not like we have Zonite swords to put the Flux Core on anyway. I mean, we'll be back down here in some fashion sooner or later, so... Let's just do what we usually do and just go point to point, and we'll just go up this ridge. And up we go. Up we go. Okay. Okay. Then that way, actually. Gotta turn this around a bit. Just for convenience. Yeah, the thing about this vehicle design is that it is a bit sensitive to bumping into things. It doesn't adjust well out of that. But we should be coming in towards some kind of precipice shortly. So let's just recharge this. And then, hard to see where any light routes are, but I guess we'll do some kind of steady descent until we find out. Do I see anything? I see a encampment down below. That's where we came from, though. So any kind of light route would probably be forward. We'll stay elevated until we maybe see something obvious. This goes quite a ways down, so let's just maybe drop a light bulb in there. Goes way down, in fact. Yeah, I guess this would have been... Right, because these are the mountains that are overlooking Zora's domain, and that's why it's such a deep valley over here. If we could do a gentle descent, I'd prefer that. Although we should curve up here first if we can, just to see if we can. After this out without having to come back up. Yeah, I do see a light route up ahead, we'll go for that one. And portage this forward once again. We've got more vehicle bays. More encampments if we want to trade up for more arrows. No, right now I just want to prioritize the light route. If we can. So it's going to be somewhere up there. I thought we'd seen it. Now there is a grove here, which means I should check for treasure, and we'll probably get mobbed by trees. Yeah, it looks like this area here is the grove. We'll kind of head towards the center of the text. Oh, I see up there, okay. Yeah, we can do it. Fight some trees. And see what else they might be holding. Bomb flowers, let's grab some of these. Without accidentally blowing them up with the Goron, that would have been very unsightly. Yeah, this area will definitely be something. We just need to find where the treasure chest might be located. And then, let's get the axe. Do we still have an axe? Yes, we do. Alright, chop chop. And we'll scan around. Anything else that might be flying about? And let's cut it down some more. Just two-shot every single one of these. Whoops. Don't get whacked by his neighbor. Previously we were killing all of these with fire, but you know, axes are even better. Oh, thick stick is kind of nice, though. We should change something up for that. Don't quite see what a critical point would be. It might actually just be the enemy base as the chest location. Sometimes that is the case. It might also be right here. The central pit. That actually looks very conspicuous. And we're correct. Sea breeze shield. Oh, excellent. More of the Wind Waker set. We should put a leaf on this one too. And take it to the Shield Museum. What do we drop? We can drop one of the Zonite ones, I think. So yeah, as I suspected, we're going to get into more of the Wind Waker set as we head southeast, since water themed does make sense. Because currently we haven't found any of it, apart from the shield and boomerang. We took the time to check for this. Yeah, like I was saying early on in the game, back when we were in the southwest, we would not really have noted that checking for treasure chests and groves was something we should be doing. But now, we are quite aware. At this point, the vast majority of the maps that we find in the sky will be irrelevant. And let's continue. Yeah, we'll just check around here. There's another boulder if we want that for something. Probably on something like the sturdy thick. Then here, once again, yeah, we have silver. Silver. I'm going to burn quite a few weapons on those guys now. Not really a priority. I mean, we get into a fight, we will, but right now I, once again, just want to prioritize getting the lights on. If we can. I do see a light route off in the distance over there. Whoops. Hang on just a moment. Let's just get out of here. It's quite distant, but I do see it. And the more we fill in, the easier it will be to locate whatever remains. Somewhere back here. But we pretty much need to take a stab in the dark. Yeah, we know that there will be this one eventually too, but I don't know if that path will be accessible. So we'll have to find that out. Once again, let's just carry this a bit, so we're not just sitting around. I thought I had seen a light route much further in. This is a rather larger camp than we typically see, too. It kind of heads back towards the grove, though, so where was it? We need to circle around for a bit. Also monitor the water features. Yeah, it should be this way. So I think we got a little lost at one point. That's okay, we'll go over this ridge here, and that should be the way forward. Yeah, over this ledge. That's probably why we couldn't see anything. Let's take this and run it up once again. Light route is directly here. Excellent. And this one is not one that I know about. Oh, sure, we'll fight you. Sure, we'll fight you. Let's see what else we can do. Drown them all. And we're easily within range of this route here, so let's just move forward and take it. Love this eerie particle glow around it. The wetland steps. Let's see where we can or cannot cross. Okay, so this actually is connected by land to the other side. We just never found it. Maybe. Let's take a look at this. I mean, I guess I didn't know it was here, so we didn't think to check. But yeah, we actually could have crossed here. That's strange, because, you know, yesterday I was fumbling around this location for ages trying to figure out how to get through, and I guess we could potentially get through after all. But anyway, we should proceed and see if we can get in here to map it out. This would likely be the way to go. Yeah, because it is connected, I guess, to where this base at Delta is. So let's continue going west. Where's my ride? Or did I just leave it? Here it is. Facing west, going that way, yep. We'll see how we're doing in terms of elevation when we get there. Yep. And yet, no need to gain tons of elevation. We see the light route already, in fact. The one that we had so much trouble with. Amazing what getting a bit of sleep can actually do for my ability to play this game. Anyway, let's shift this forward a little bit. Soon enough, we'll map that out as well. Looks like we are to be close to... Oh. It's going to be a rematch with Marbled Goma. Well, let's do it. It was a fun fight to begin with. However, it is a fight that does require arrows. We are extremely short on those. I might even try to do it in my flight, since it's going to be an open cavern, as opposed to the enclosed space of the original fight. I suppose if there's no ceiling phase, we can do it without arrows. We're going to have to see how this fight works without a ceiling. Ah, okay, so let's take a look at this on the map. Yeah, here's the wetlands gathering. So this is what we had so much trouble with. I was trying to fumble down here and push through this base, and I think we did hit this Yuga base. There actually was a passage through, and we just never found it. Just kept bumping into things. But there's no passage through to this side, at least not from here. We'd have to go down below. Which is fine, we understand that. Anyway, let's hit Marbled Goma with a bank of 35 arrows. We're going to have to be extremely frugal about that. We can't use arrows against the eyeball until we're in the late phases. But I think if we do a bit of a run towards it using... Oh, and it's nice that we're not in fiery conditions as well, so now I can actually use my full 60 art gear. Nevertheless, we should probably heal up a little bit. Just a little. And think about the weapon set. Take its legs down and then whack it with something decent. Yeah, let's put a couple of attack weapons on the thick sticks. Nothing that good, maybe just more of these good old black book horns, our bread and butter for much of this game. Since they're cheap and readily available, and they still actually do some reasonable damage, which is something we always appreciate. So yeah, let's try to do the cannonball run with Yunopo here. If there's no ceiling phase, I expect that something's going to be different about this fight, and hopefully something that doesn't really depend on a bow. But if we get in there with Yunopo right away, we'll be able to fight it. Oh, whoops, total miss. Hang on, we're actually too high. Try to go down a bit. Yeah, we're way too high. Just start at a lower location. We'll still fight it, let's just say. Also, we might as well just launch some of this stuff. Yeah, actually using recall is pretty helpful for this one. Still doable substantially with recall. But I do want to try it with this Empire Strikes Back method that we have going on, where we try to knock its legs out this way. That obviously failed, but... I totally think of this as the Empire Strikes Back method. Whoops. Oh, Except, of course, our co-pilot doesn't know how to aim. Okay, Yunobo, where are you? Where are you? Get in here. This guy. Okay. Let's get up there and poke him. Get maybe 5 hits down. Until we have to jump. Alright. Get in here. There we go. Look at that. It totally is out of The Empire Strikes Back. Whoops. Okay, get up, get up, get up. Back into the vehicle. This was what I should have gone for in the original fight in the first place. Now, I have no idea how Phase 2 is going to work, though. Yeah, you get such a quick cooldown with Yunobo when he's on a vehicle. Oh, get out. Got 5 hits. That's what we have room for. Let's turn this slightly. Have an easier drive. There's a fight in Star Fox Zero that is just like this too. Now that I think about it, the extremely underrated Star Fox Zero. This is going to be Phase 2 in just a moment. So does he create a ceiling, or what do they do? He's looking for a ceiling. And has none. Okay. Where's my vehicle? That's okay. It's actually a really easy Phase 2 compared to the last one. And jump, jump, jump. Okay, we need to go down a bit. Aim down. Come on. Except, gotta lose height here. Just gotta aim down. How do you get him to aim? Here we go. Okay, there we go. And 5 hits. Really easy with this method, actually. Once we don't let him get us around. Alright, now let's switch to something else. Yeah, let's go with this. We can probably just kill him right now. Just to it. Oh, wait, okay. That's fine. Same method as before. Now all we need now to complete that is an asteroid chase. Also, look at this thing that I dropped here. This is a museum piece for sure. We can attach it to something appropriate. We have something nice to put this on. Because marbled goma leg. Now here's the thing. If we put it on something that we disassemble later at Tarrytown, then we can put it in the museum. So I say we put it onto Seabreeze Shield for now, and then we disassemble it and mount it up somewhere proper at a later point. Just to keep it, although I'm kind of curious about what kind of attack power it gets you, but obviously won't be using it for that purpose. We can also put it on the Stone Talus Hammer, I suppose, but again, we're not going to be using it that way, so. Gnarled wooden stick. Oh, actually putting on Big Gorn's sword. What we need. We'd have to dump the Luminous. But thematically, it makes sense to put it on the Big Gorn's sword, doesn't it? We would have to dump the Luminous, though. I don't think we want to do that just yet. But we're not going to use this. Like, I pretty much placed it here specifically. Yeah, you know what? Let's just dump the Luminous. Whatever. Plus 38, look at that. Like I said, we're not going to use it. It's just a museum piece. Oh, look at this beauty. In the museum for sure. And if we pick up a second one at some point, then we can use it on the attack. But if you put it on like a Gerudo weapon or something, then you get like a plus 76. And so you can have like your damage number somewhere in the 80s. Not bad. If you really want to drop the hammer on somebody. Anyway, that was great. Let's get a treasure chest. And here's another 100 in the bank. We really do need to spend this stuff once we get back upstairs. So at this point, I think we would of course like to continue down here, but since we need to loop around anyway, maybe it makes sense to go for that construct fight. Maybe it makes sense to check the Yiga notebook here too, since we missed it, but it's a lot of running around though. A lot of flying around. We'll leave that base for now. I'd like to get out of here. So in the span of one stream today, we've had a James Bond fight and a Star Wars fight. And whatever the sprinkler system fight we had with the Muckrock was. I don't know what we'd call that. Also, oh, I see. Let's see what path we missed over here. Now that we're not fumbling around. I can see why it was that I had so much trouble making it over there. While flying blind. Yeah, we just missed a spot, basically. I mean, it is fairly up high. I guess we might have missed it just from lack of elevation gain, but... yeah, we'll play around here a bit. Why not? We find arrows. So we find a base that's easy pickings, and we'll take it. Did we even check this? Oh no, this is just a pillar down here. Because it's the body of water, that's the Baruta pool. Up above. That makes sense. Yeah, I'm going all the way back to the scene of the crime, too. See about the eco piece we had earlier. Oh, look at that. Conveniently, we're losing these fans right as we get to a vehicle assembly point. With 3 fans. So. Also, let me make sure I'm not on this shield. Because we want to keep it in pristine condition. Switch back to Resin Shield, maybe. And sure, let's just kill it with a thick stick. We need more eyeballs anyway, so... more eyes in the sky. Anyway, we know we've just done another 2 or 3 hours of flying because we need to strip the fence and refit this piece. We can still auto-build this accurately. The greatest vehicle that we've developed in this game. That's why I wanted a 3-fan design to begin with. It was not just its incredible stability and finesse, but also because we could just grab 3 replacement fans at the same time at one of the replenishment points, so... everything about this vehicle has worked out. It gained a little too much height to really do the Empire Strikes Back Marbled Goma fight as accurately as I would have liked, but it worked out. Didn't go too badly. So we're going back to the Yiga base. Again, I did loot this one already. But I think I forgot to check the notebook, just in case there's something interesting there. There probably isn't, but there's no completion points or percentage for this stuff anyway. It's more just out of curiosity about whatever dialogue we might have bypassed. And yeah, we've been here. Whoops, that was not the best way to come over, but again, a little bit sensitive too. into objects and tripping over things. Don't mind me, cyclist, on a patrol. I'm totally part of the clan. Oh, look at all this. That's nice. Red haze and a ground gloom is found in a monster's dead nest in the area. You'd eat sundelions instead of bananas, and who would possibly want that? Let's just whack this stuff. We'll gladly take the duplex bow. So many of these terrible bows sitting around. No arrows to use with them. $50 arrows to use with them. Okay, that's a little better. So next destination is going to be all the way over to the construct fight. So basically doing a full loop back to where we began the day. Oh, let's check some of these as well. Raid everything we can. We'll head on up. Again, just tripping over things. Getting caught on poles. I guess that's how you know it's a fairly effective defensive system. Then we need to face this way, head east. Just make some incremental gains. I mean, at some point I should just attach some rockets to this to give it some initial propulsion, but we're cheap. Yeah, we're going to play this safely. It is going to be a pretty steep dive down to the bottommost part of the canyon to it's what I saw as the construct fight location, but we'll steadily make it over that way. Sort of wish wings weren't as fragile as they were. They're fragile to the point that I have to build these devices and actively avoid them. Very, very limited use in some ways. But much faster, especially when you put them together with a rocket. Let's do a drop here. And yeah, we're already most of the way over. Well, about a third of the way over. We'll pass where we fought the Mukta and then hit the construct, and then after that, probably try to cover some new territory over to the next available light route. Either that or just pop out of the depths, but no, I think at this point I do want to explore as exhaustively as I can. Oh, no use sitting around. Let's loot some muddle buds and other such delights. And then we are heading up to... heading down, I suppose. Guess we'll be doing a lot of straight drops here while we get back into the canyon proper. You can kind of see the path ahead. Given that we have a good view of the ground at this point, we'll know where safe landing locations are and plan accordingly. That was a little bit off, but not hazardously so. We're still missing Bargainer statues somewhere. That's something that's come to mind as well. Yeah, this is the Mucked Rock Arena that we saw much earlier today. Probably drop in just a little past that. Maybe not down here, but we will be going pretty low. And there's the construct. We can see it from here already. Actually, this would have been a water landing, I guess. That would have been fine. Didn't really expect that, but... Also, we don't know what level of quality this construct will be, but we'll fly over and we'll find out in just a moment. Whoops. Hang on, let's not do that. Get back up here. And let's just park it. Yeah. Nicely, so we can actually use it. Okay. Anyway, weapons-wise, let's see. We're not using this thing, obviously. Yeah, we'll just use this blade. The thing about constructs is that I do kind of need bows for it as well, but 52, yeah, that's fine. In combination with recall, we should be... Okay, I may want to eat up some food, though, just in case of fall damage. Fall damage from the recall phase. Okay, and hopefully the vehicle doesn't get smashed up on this fight. It's a Mark II, it'll be easy. Oh, you want to smash? Let's go. Oh. Wrong one. There we go. Then shake it out. Yeah, I could imagine doing all these fights with using the stick to wiggle instead of using motion controls to shake it loose. Let's not get projected too far up there. There we go. Is this the right piece? It's not. Where did it go? There we go. This guy will be a total pushover. What? Couldn't imagine doing this without motion controls generally, actually. It's just making everything so much smoother. Okay, one more cycle will do it. We're going to just get the bow shot on him at this point, but we're saving arrows, so. Done. Now we get to choose where to place this thing, which might even just put it on his own shield, actually, but that might not be very effective. This should be a weapon. This flame emitter we'd never use. Maybe we should finally use it. Does attack up plus 10? Yeah, we've hardly... Actually, this has been completely pristine. Let's just use this one. It's been sitting in my bag all game. Even with a Mark II, it's going to be in a pretty good shape now, so... At this point, we can probably just take off a lot of these boss markers or of things we previously defeated. We want to maintain some if they are interesting. We use stars for some of the rematch locations that I still want to get to, I suppose, but yeah, because we marked line holes, we marked all kinds of things. Yeah, we don't need to mark every rematch. The circles are always quite clear. Anyway, let's go back this way and continue. We're pretty far down, so let's see what the easiest way will be to gain the proper elevation once again. Probably up this way. Yeah, because we can do it over a series of flights. Okay, so we'll continue heading up. Just try to gain as much elevation as we can while we're waiting for the recharge. Then we'll be taking us across the lake, likely, where we had previously contended with Master Koge. And yeah, let's just use up a few more mining weapons if we can. It is directly in this location, so should be simple. Same way we previously traversed. Indeed, the access point for it is relatively low, so we'll have no trouble making it across. And we wanted to walk around this thing anyway, so just a natural recharge point. Grab some pose, and then I actually wonder if there's anything on the shelf to loot here. Not really, we already bought that up this session. So just traverse this one little segment at a time. Then head out that way. Okay. Let's go down to the right. Yeah, we crossed over to mine a couple times today, but we're going to take a left up ahead once we are able to do so. We'll probably just try to find one more light route and stop there for this session. And hopefully continue at the usual time later today, but we'll figure out if that makes sense. There's a bit of a zonite mine down there, we might as well. Whoa. Oh, I must have landed on a bomb or something, yeah. Luckily no damage to the vehicle. Mostly things with stomp attacks, like froxes and such, that are a bit of a risk to the vehicle parts. And sure. Roll you over. And you too. If we can. We'll be taking a right. As soon as we're able to do so. Look at how gloomy this statue is. Not in a very good mood. And then, yeah, we'll go up and to the left. Looks like another grove here. I don't know if there's anything to map, but maybe worth checking. And then, yeah, we'll get to take a fall here, but then we'll go up step by step. Looks like we would need that elevation gain to proceed anyhow. Looks like there's a Yiga base right here that will... Oh, I think I did check that one earlier, though. I think we did hit it earlier on our way back out. But we can check it. See if it's glowing. I'm pretty sure that was earlier in the stream, though. Yeah, we'll make that attempt. Starting to think about a lot of these shrooms as battery recharge points. Yeah, we know at the very least there's going to be something along there. So we'll head towards it. We'll see what happens. Might be some additional light routes that we don't know about as well. Also more statues pointing towards mining locations. That's something we should be aware of. And a fair bit of water. Like right here. Okay. That's fine, we'll just have to fish this back out. And we can, it'll get some lift off of water, I'm sure. Yeah, that's what happens when you're looking at the wrong map. Should have been looking at the depths map here. Anyway, we'll just wait for the recharge to get done here as we're submerged here with President Hudson on our back. In a very literal sense. Well, we know that straight west will give me a light route, so if we see anything else in the way, that's a bonus. We don't strictly Really need to. Thing we don't know about, of course, is elevation. That looks like it's Yiga base over there. Seems like likely as not we're going to hit that first, but we'll try to stay nice and low. Yeah, basically if you're facing the rear of the vehicle, then with the right stick you can aim the cannon. The issue I was running into was having trouble aiming the cannon if I'm not looking straight on at the vehicle. And the sooner we understand how to aim it, especially on the pitch axis as well, then we'll be able to do things like the Empire Strikes Back fight we had earlier a little bit more efficiently. Anyway, light rouge is right there. We'll do that quickly. And we'll see if we want to push any further. I think we'll likely break off from there, though. Depending on how accessible the next light routes are, I mean, they might be pretty close by, just given how everything is positioned around here. Let's move the vehicle. I mean, if we see the Yiga base or something, we could just rob it quickly. But pick up some bombs along the way. Yeah, the next light route's already pretty visible over there, so we'll just map the place. And drop in. Very gracefully. It seems like we actually just overshot the Yiga base. Also, that there's another boss rematch location. I should see who it is. Should at least take a look to see if it's somebody we know. But the Yiga base is right behind me too, so let's take a look at what we're dealing with. Oh, it is another marbled Goma. You know what? We've got the vehicle, we've got the method. Let's take him. It'll be fun. And we'll switch to another weapon that will hopefully let me hit him quickly. Should actually go for something faster like the Reapers, but that's okay. We know how we want to do this fight, and we'll do it. Yeah, we'll start off nice and low with a full battery. We'll just take him down right away. And then afterwards we'll figure out where we want to use the Goma hammer, if there is one that drops. It's actually the second time I've seen a boss part drop. After the Queen Gibdo wing much earlier. It doesn't happen all the time. Whoops, okay. Hang on. Control stick, please. Aim. Aim. Okay. This guy... Alright, this whole strategy is contingent on Yunobo being able to aim. He's totally not doing that for me. There we go. Get him on ahead at least. Yeah, there we go. There we are. Now let's get up there. Okay, 5 hits usually. Let's turn the vehicle slightly. And of course his aim is awful. However, we'll get him anyway. Okay, 5 hits. Let's turn the vehicle advance. We'll just stay low. Yeah, we want to stay as grounded as possible. So we tilt forward. Come on, Yunobo. Do your job. You have one job. Unfortunately, I flipped the vehicle. I'll need some time to flip it back. Alright. Let's... do it this way again. Miss. There we go. Then we'll cycle through this pretty quickly. I feel like this way of doing this fight is just never going to get old. It's too much fun. I don't know if Igneo Talus Hammer is going to be good against him at all, but we can do it. We got the Reaper as well. I'm just not using this. Yeah, I don't know if flame weapons are redundant against him, but we've got multiple Talus Hammers. We can always try it. I think we're going to go with the Reaper, though. Damage is just going to be a lot faster on a one-hander. And he's almost at phase 2. Oh, come on. Oh, kicked me. Okay. Whoa, hang on. Vehicle, come back. I hope we still have some pieces on this vehicle that will allow me to use it. Yeah, so you don't want to stand too close when doing this. And then let's recall this piece. Again, terrible aim. Whoop. Ah. Come on. There we go. Didn't expect him to kick this far. Okay. Maybe he's wising up to this. Oh, come on. Wrong place. Just want to get on. Hang on. Just misclicking through everything here. Just want to get on my craft. Just let me drive. There we go. Finally. Okay, this would get to phase 2. And then where's my vehicle? It's in a terrible position. Wow, okay. He's just going to stop it. You know what? We are going to spend some zonite. We're going to build into it. Because I want to do the fight this way. How come we lost so many pieces? 12? Oh, because we lost a control stick on it. Okay. There we go. Yeah, he smashed a control stick too, which is usually Yunobo missing it again. Yeah, if you tilt downwards, the thing is Yunobo hits the ground and it does not help at all. You're trying to do this method. Come on. Okay, just getting in too close in general here. This worked a lot better the first time. Let's get us out. Okay, we're going to rebuild this again, and this time we'll hopefully not get stopped. It was such a clean fight the first time, too. Luckily, we've got tons of zonite to work with here. We'll just take him down immediately. The recall got the first shot down, which was nice. Okay, let's get out. Yes, we're actually getting a little too much height on it. And also, Yunobo just can't aim. People complain about Star Fox Zero. This exact identical fight and method was easier to execute in Star Fox Zero. In terms of the aim. That was what the whole second screen aiming mechanic in Star Fox Zero was about in the first place. Come on. But I just can't aim this guy at all. After a certain elevation. Like, I don't know how to lower him. Oh, I guess if you lower the camera. Oh, we're out of range. Do we get to continue to fight with the same health pool? Please tell me I do. There we go. Okay. Better. Except we're out of battery now. We can use Yunobo, but I don't know where he's standing because I can't see him right now, so we're going to use this method instead. Before everything blows up, everything's going to blow up. Okay. Could not see him. Let's see. He's never standing in the right place. Okay, so this was a bit of a mess compared to last time. It went a lot better last time. I don't even know where my vehicle is now. I might have just smashed it completely. Oh no, it's over there. And then... there we go. We'll do it by that method. Maybe that method. Okay. Get me out of here. Oh, come on, I powered it up. This was a lot easier the first time. Much, much easier. Now we're just making a total mess of it. Let's, first of all, where's Yunobo? Get over here. No, get over here. Oh god, this guy. He's never standing where he needs to be. Okay. That's the thing, is that the companion characters in this game I find to be really finicky sometimes. No, and then everything's dead again. Yeah, just been burning so much zonite on. I should actually just do this fight the real way, and then repair the vehicle afterwards. But what fun is that? We had such an easy time with it the first time. And now we're in a bit of a rut where we just can't get out of. Okay, let's load us up first and then rebuild. You know what? Get me out of here. Okay. Now we spend way too much zonite once again. Come on! This guy. Yeah, the problem is that we're kind of off our pattern, and when we're off our pattern, it's hard to get back on because, you know, he's kind of got a turn advantage, so to speak. And all right, now let's fight. Now let's fight. There we go. That's what we wanted. We need to get a few shots off and get into the vehicle immediately. Flying before he starts stomping. Before his legs come out. And of course, you know, the vertical aim on this guy is completely off. Oh, the vehicle's gonna get kicked if you're not careful. Come on, aim. I don't know, it's just impossible to aim. I can't aim with him, like, when the vehicle is even minimally elevated, there's no way to aim with him. Anyway, we've already done this fight the fancy way once, so we should really just play standard, but I have a point to prove at this point, so it's actually much easier to just play standard. But get out. Come on. Alright, you know what? We're going to place over here, let him drop. Then build my vehicle. No, he's not going to give me a chance to do it. Like, maybe he will. This was so much easier the first time. It's deeply annoying. Just fly out of here. Oh no, it's all going to blow up because I'm stuck. Alright, now we're out. At least. Yeah, you stay on the move, then he can't catch you with the drop. Problem is staying on the move in the first place, though. We need to lower ourselves quite a bit. And Hinobo just is impossible to aim. So let's redo it. Let's pull back, so next drop is far away. He needs to get back here. Do it. There we go, finally. Shouldn't have taken nearly this long. We got him. He was so smooth the first time I thought I could just zap him the same way twice. Probably spent about 100 stonite or something on this. Just to get the vehicle back in order. Just given its fragility. How much stonite am I sitting on now? Am I still over 1,000? Can't actually tell. Yeah, I'm still over 1,000, but that was still way too spendy. Anyway, here's another one of these marbled goma hammers. Now let's put it this time on something that I actually intend to use, perhaps. Like this stone talus heart. We just replace it straight up. Igneo talus heart, yeah, we'll have a lot of options here. If we had more Gerudo weapons, that would have been ideal, but this is still going to be quite nice. So, we'll use it. And then we are going to grab the treasure chest, and we're going to end stream from there. Yeah, really difficult to aim him up and down, because it's very camera dependent. Okay. That is it for now. We're done for now. We may continue later today at the usual time if I'm able to get on. The schedule has been a little more erratic lately, so we'll see if that actually manages to work out. Anyway, that's how we'll finish for the time being. Thanks so much for watching. We'll continue soon enough, and we'll see if maybe there is anywhere that will receive us as a modest audience, but whether we do or not, see you at our next destination, wherever that may be. And as always, fare thee well.